This is the 2021 Mini Cooper S Countryman All 4. Yes, that's a big name, but this is a big Mini. Why is it so big? We're Americans, we love SUVs, and Mini, they want to sell a lot of vehicles. But the question is, does a big Mini make any sense at all? Let's find out. This is the second generation of Mini subcompact SUV, the Countryman. We first saw one of these about a decade ago, and man, has it grown since then. The Countryman is a weird car in terms of what it competes against, because I don't think it has any natural competition. You know, in one aspect, you might say, oh, it competes against a high-style vehicle like the Volvo XC40 or even the Mazda CX-30. But really, I think its #1 competitor is its own sibling, the BMW X1. Remember, BMW owns Mini, and the X1 and the Countryman, they share a platform. Part of the reason why the Countryman is as big as it is because of the size of the X1. Regardless of whatever the Countryman competes against, I think it's obvious that Mini has placed style above everything else. Breaking down the design of the Mini Countryman, and it's one of those classic conundrums of great details and poor proportions. What I mean is, if you focus in on any one element, it's really good. But if you take the whole thing in as a whole, the shape is just off. We'll start with the details and what's good. Nice front end, they've done a good job. Every little thing you look at, it's really well executed. You've got the signature grille, the badge looks cool. They had to add a second grille down here, a second intake, but it's not tacked on. It looks strong, it looks well thought out. And then, like, for instance, look at these headlights, right? So efficient, just so good looking. Looks high end too. Coming down the side, I really like this thing's stance. Now, what stance? That's the way a vehicle sits on its wheels. This is a small SUV, and there's just a ton of room here. It looks great, even if it's on Goodyear Eagle F1 high-performance tires for whatever reason. Also, 19-inch wheels on a Mini? I mean, the original Mini was on 10s. That's almost doubled in size. And as you keep coming down the side, especially if you get away from the vehicle and look at it, it's just massive, right? I mean, a Mini, the roof is here, not here. If I'm gonna fault one detail, you know, the taillights, I don't need a British flag, Union Jack in my taillights. I know it's British, but again, such wonderful details on the Countryman here. It's just too bad that it resembles a little hippo. I'm here inside the Countryman, and the operative word is funky. It's a Mini, right? It's supposed to be a little weird. It's supposed to be different. It is, in fact, funky. And it's okay because, you know, there's no other vehicle on the market that looks anything like this. So it's a little bit hard to critique in that regard, but I tend to like it. I think the thing I like the most is they're using not so expensive materials, but they're using them in a really creative way. Like, look at the top of the dash here, right? It's kind of nicely curved. Well, if you feel it, it's just, you know, soft touch rubber, nothing special. This is just plastic with some lines drawn on it. This bright work here, it's clearly plastic, but it looks okay. And they're using color in a creative way, you know, green, blue, there's some purple in the door, you know, orange, red, a rainbow, why not? And then you combine it with these cool leather seats, and it's nice, it works, I like it. One thing I don't like, the nav screen, you know, it's just a little bit fussy, it's kind of small, and you gotta be like super accurate the way you touch stuff. Like if I wanna get home, gotta get right on the home button. So it's tough to do when you're driving. Plus, they're shoving a rectangle into a circle, so you lose some of the edges. But again, it's a Mini, right? It's supposed to be a little bit different, and so I'll give that a pass. As far as space goes, I know it's a Mini, but it's supposedly a big Mini, but it's pretty cramped in here, especially the rear seats. And even though it is an SUV, it's a subcompact SUV. So if you're gonna be hauling stuff around, you gotta fold those rear seats flat. As far as performance goes, this Countryman's all right because remember, it's a Mini Cooper S, not a Mini Cooper. Because of that S, it does not have a 3-cylinder. It has a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that makes 189 horsepower and 206 pound-feet of torque. Now, remember I said that mechanically this thing is identical to the BMW X1. It is, except that the BMW X1 makes 228 horsepower. So for mini duty, the power of the engine has been turned down. But no matter, because all of it goes into an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is an all-4, therefore it's all-wheel drive. And remember, it's got these sticky tires on there. So acceleration is actually pretty good, as is the handling. It's decent. You know, it's not go-kart like when the Mini first came back 20 years ago, but it is pretty good. What's just kind of middling is the fuel economy, but again, it is kind of a big, small SUV. 23 miles per gallon around town, 31 miles per gallon on the highway. As far as safety goes, the Mini Countryman has not been crash tested by the federal government. However, the IIHS has given it good marks in every single accident category. In terms of active safety, it's a mixed bag. Some things, like forward collision warning, are standard. Others, like adaptive cruise control, are optional. How much? Okay, you can squeak your way into a Mini Countryman for just under $30,000. However, an S Countryman all-4, we're talking nearly $34,000. Now, to put that into some perspective for you, a Volvo XC40 that has all-wheel drive or a BMW X1, we're talking right around $37,000. However, this car is almost $44,000. So some analysis at around $34,000, yeah, that's not bad. $44,000? No. If there's one thing I want you to know about the 2021 Mini Cooper S Countryman all-4, it's that, yes, it's too big, but it's still pretty cool. Look, here's the deal. Nobody actually wants a miniature SUV. Smallish, easy to park, sure, but you still want it to be practical. You still want it to do something. And also remember, the Countryman, it's kind of unique in the marketplace, right? It really doesn't have any true competitors, except for, I'd argue, the BMW X1. And when you look at the Countryman as a discount BMW, well, suddenly it becomes very appealing. Just watch it when you're picking out your options. To check out our latest vehicle rankings, go to motortrend.com/cars.